Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage Jewelry. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, and the tarot to communicate energy to you, beautiful viewer. We're taking a look at the person on your mind, the person you came here about, and what is the biggest block in regards to this person specifically, in which is getting in the way of this connection progressing, or just the biggest block this person has in general when it comes to connections. So we have 3 options to choose from here. Now, if you're resonating with the pile, there will be an extended afterwards. I will leave the link after the timestamp there. It will take you to your pile, and we'll be looking at what sort of blocks you may be overseeing in this connection that might help yourself kind of adapt to whatever situation you have going on. And then of course we'll be asking for some advice and guidance from spirit for you in this connection. So take a look at these 3 piles. The timestamps will be in the description box and in the pinned comment. We'll have these 3 stones. If you're resonating with one of these being your energy specifically, then you might want to take a look at another pile, but sometimes we tap into our own energies. All right, so option 1, 2, 3, I'll leave the video on for a bit so you can intuitively be drawn towards whichever stone is calling to you. All right. Hello, my gorgeous pile 1. You picked this beautiful amethyst crystal. Pile number 1, we're looking at your person specifically, and what is the biggest block in regards to this person when it comes to this connection or any connection in general? This is more looking at your person and how they are showing up in regards to any blocks that might be hindering them in moving forward. And then, like I mentioned in the intro, there will be an extended. So if you're resonating with this, we'll take a look at you specifically and any blocks you may have, or some guidance in regards to this connection and how to maybe see something here that can help you in progressing this connection. Obviously there's a block here in progressing, moving forward with this person. So please keep in mind that you could be tapping into your own energy. If this sounds more like you, your person may be in another pile. All right, so use your intuition over my intuition every day, all day. So these oracle cards were pre-shuffled, so let's take a look at this energy. So we have autumn, and we have conjunction. Okay. Autumn and conjunction. We have defense. The scorpion here. Scorpio might be significant here in either your chart or your person's. Just confirmation for somebody out there. We have weasel. Be silent, pay attention, and simply observe with your eyes, ears, and physical feelings what is happening inside and all around you. We have seagull. Now is the time for deep emotional healing. Interesting. We have vampire. Light attribute makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Shadow attributes depleting others for your psychic survival. Chronic complaining and codependency. Exorcist. Light attribute freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Shadow attribute fear of facing your own demons. The walker. The unknown. A journey. The weaver, rediscovery and transition. The lion, fire energy coming through. Your person may resonate specifically with a Leo, although Aries and Sagittarius could be present as well. All right. We have the village here. And we have dominance with the number 16 or the number 7. We'll pull tarot in a bit. So this energy, wow. It's quite the energy here. So this person is quite codependent, okay? in their connections around them. So they could be kind of seeing their value in who they surround themselves with, their family, their friends, people who they hold close or hang out with or invite in their life. They put a lot of weight on those people to kind of identify themselves with who they are. They see value in who these people are, kind of is a reflection of who they want to be for themselves. So I feel this person is lacking accountability here, okay? They're lacking accountability here, and I feel like this person is quite prideful. And I also feel like this person is very self-serving. I feel like this person is quite draining, and I feel like this person is maybe on the verge of identifying that they can't continue being this way. Maybe people have called them out. Maybe you have called them out. I feel like this person is used to kind of getting their way, and if they don't, they kind of go and move towards other people who don't see through maybe the facade so much of them not taking accountability. So if somebody is able to ignore the fact that they might be a little bit lacking accountability, is a reflection of their maturity potentially. Like they'll surround themselves with people who don't really call them out so much on it, because this person lacks the I feel like they have the self-awareness here, but it's just much easier to work with people here that energetically kind of boost you up here. So I feel like this person is in need of kind of a reality check here. So if they still have people in their life that are kind of enabling them in this behavior, then they continue to engage in such behaviors here. But I feel as though they're coming to a point maybe where there's not a lot of people here who they're able to milk so much or be a vampire to their energy, quote unquote. So I think they're having to, or at least this connection maybe has made them take a look at how they've been not taking accountability so much for their own way of showing up. And so what we're seeing, like we're seeing a snippet here, okay? So obviously there's deep-rooted issues here in regards to this person having the confidence to believe in themselves to show up or be accountable here in case they fail or don't succeed here. So if they don't take accountability, if they don't put the responsibility on themselves and kind of live or feed off of others, if it doesn't sort of work out, then there's no real need to take accountability for something not working out here. I think this person isn't used to, just taking accountability, being responsible for their own emotions and how they show up here. So they might be quite dismissive, defensive. If somebody maybe calls them out or starts to identify this person as being someone who lacks accountability or kind of scratches on the surface of their shadow traumas, this person could certainly get quite hurtful in their words. If they feel they're losing control of their appearance within someone, then they pull away or just not want to involve themselves, because it's easier to surround yourself with people here who are going to enable them to not have to face any of their shadow self and make them accountable, because that would require them to engage in different energy here. So, autumn. Now is the time to, now is the time for deep emotional healing, and then to pay attention, eyes, ears, and physical feelings, what's happening inside. This person is really being pulled towards having to face their shadows, okay? They're really fighting against this. Their pride, their ego, their habitual way of being is kind of really getting in the way of them really finding freedom in allowing themselves to see that if they do have shadows, if they do have a side of them that needs to be revealed here, that they can accept themselves for who they are as an individual here. That everybody has shadow sides, and there might be a big fear here of failing. And so I feel like this person keeps a very rigid, stiff exterior surface here, because if they don't, like, so they're very protective, they might shut you out, they might have a strong shell around them, because if anyone gets close to the core of who this person is here, or if they start to catch feels here, I feel like this person might feel like they might lose control, or they'll lose control of a situation here, or their own ability to control the situation and have an upper hand here, so that they can be free to leave a situation here that makes them feel uncomfortable, or it makes them face their own demons, so to speak. Yeah, fear of facing your own demons. So they know that they have some wounding here that they're not wanting to look at or face here. So they would rather just surround themselves here with people who don't make them have to face any of this, and they could just kind of feed off energy of other people, as long as it doesn't get very deep here. So I don't think this person's really experienced such a balanced type connection where they're actually able to show up of themselves here to contribute. So you might have experienced in this connection where this person isn't engaging with you in an authentic way, especially if you are being open or genuine with your feelings. I feel like this person fears that by being open exposes them to an energy here which will make them lose control or the upper hand in this connection. I feel strongly, though, they're at the point here of needing to take a look at this, because I feel like this might be well, it certainly is destructive, but I feel like more so lately, potentially because of this connection, it has caused destruction here, that I feel this person can't continue down the road of pretending they don't see or addressing that there is something here that is significantly impacting their happiness. So this could be the type of person that might have burnt a lot of bridges here. Subconsciously, I think this person isn't like, I mean, they're aware that they're need an upper hand here, or that if a relationship or connection or person doesn't allow them to be in this energy, that they consciously like move away. But I think subconsciously, I don't think this person recognizes why they're doing this, because I feel like this person might mistake other energies here for their own, or at least it gives them enough sort of fuel here to identify themselves as who they're surrounding themselves with. So it gives them a sense of security, a sense of pride, a sense of fuel to continue. But yeah, I feel like either through this connection or through being called upon by spirit here, it's kind of like end of the road. So I feel like this person is really fighting tooth and nail but I do feel like it is really creeping up on this person to really take a look at their past actions here and their connections. This connection, past connections, their friends. I feel friend group really is impacting this person, or who they surround themselves on a day in, day out basis, because I think there's something here about them convincing themselves, or this superficial type energy here that only goes so deep. Only goes so deep and only goes so far. And I think there's a message here from Spirit that maybe they've experienced here something within this connection that wasn't so superficial, or wasn't something that only lasted for a short period of time here. So there's like almost like a light bulb here, or an identification here that they might have been settling here, or not understanding that there is something deeper, something greater that they can experience here for themselves. But they'd have to kind of show up, or they'd have to put in the time or the energy, or expose themselves as being vulnerable in order for them to experience this. Yeah, big energy here of them kind of being at the precipice of having to look at something here because something's been revealed to them. This person definitely likes the upper hand and control here because of the fact that they feel less vulnerable. There's a sense of pride here in not wanting to have to be exposed. And then there's also the using energy and people here as them kind of identifying as that, so that they can avoid any sort of, if something doesn't work out, or if for whatever reason something happens, they can avoid responsibility or accountability and something not going right. So this person may fear failure here, or something not being successful, and taking responsibility to this. Yeah, and I feel like this person could get quite hurtful here towards anybody that sees this. So maybe people see it, or you can even see it, but maybe you haven't really called this person out so much on it. And there might be an energy here as kind of the elephant in the room, but I also feel like people might know this person for like outbursts of, like if they do get called out, or if something kind of triggers that within them, because I think they've carried this for quite some time. I feel like this person acts in a way that is unrecognizable, almost like, yeah, like they could get very violent, or act in a way that might not be familiar. So you might have seen glimpses of this person in this type of an energy, or they might have, yeah, they might have come out like that with an experience here with you, in which might have been that light bulb moment, or might have been the triggering here that they were needing in order for them now to take a good look at how long can they kind of stay in an energy here of not taking responsibility or accountability here for how they show up, rather than depending on other people's energy here to kind of fuel them as their own. Let's take a look at the tarot now, because I think that's pretty much all that's coming through here. Yeah, let's take a look at the tarot. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so Spirit, can we take a look at pile number 1's person a little more in depth in regards to the blocks and how this person's personality is blocking progress in this connection? How's this getting in the way of this person and connection as a whole? Thank you, Spirit, for clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1 and the connection. or pile number 1 in general, please communicate clear and concise message. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, pile number 1, for allowing me to tap into your beautiful energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed and so grateful to have you guys here. Don't forget, there is an extended. Like I mentioned, we will look at your blocks, your energy, and how you can help yourself either move away or with this connection. Whatever Spirit wants to communicate. Keep in mind, energy is fluid, so this could change, all right? Nothing is set in stone. And do not let somebody's feelings for you and how they are impact your self-worth, all right? So, felt I had to say that. So we have the 10 of Cups. We have the 2 of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Cups. I'm feeling it like this. We have the World. We have the 7 of Wands. And we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So, this person, you might have experienced a hot and cold or an off and on, hot and cold, them needing to prioritize, specifically because you see with the 2 of Pentacles, it's like a back and forth or needing to choose. So I feel like this person is kind of understanding that there could be something here significant between the 2 of you guys with potential here. And they might idolize this connection as something that could have full potential with the 10 of Cups. But in kicks in that thing of their own gratification, their own need for continuing to do something here that has been tested true. Because it's been working up until now, that this person has been able to satisfy themselves and not have to worry about anyone else really, and having to show up for someone else, because again, this person lacks accountability or responsibility in when it comes to putting themselves forward in a vulnerable state in case of failure here. I mean, this person needs to recognize that if something's not working, it's not a reflection of them failing as a person. But I feel like this person would rather focus on, if that means engaging with situations, connections, people who don't require them to equally give or contribute to a situation, then that's kind of what they've known up until now. But I could say this person's legitimately considering or going back and forth in their mind about what it would look like here with a connection with another. And I'm assuming this is obviously about your connection here. So maybe this person has been swayed here and cracking open. And that would explain why we were seeing that energy coming through. I was feeling quite intensely with it being time. Okay, with the autumn here, I was feeling like it's time here, the universe or their experience or something that's happened here, that they're really being called to look at this. So I do feel they are doing this, okay, contemplating, going back and forth. Something's coming through here as well. There might be a connection here with music, or potentially a person knows how to play guitar here, okay? I feel like this person partakes in immediate gratification here. Things in their life maybe that they can use as distractions or some way of keeping them not having to be exposed here, their inner self. And I'm also feeling like this person could use a lot of, I'm getting magician from this. So tactics here in order to distract you from seeing their true self. They might have a way with words, or they might divert you if you are pointed with questions here that kind of open this person up to be vulnerable. I feel like this person might talk in circles, or might distract you, or might guide you towards something else here if you are getting closer to the truth of this connection, or what's kind of what you're expecting or what you're wanting. I just feel like this person, like if you are feeding this person with energy here, and I do feel this person likes your energy, because I don't feel this person would surround themselves with people who aren't energetically boosting them in some way. And like I said, I think they really mistake this as their own energy here. But something subconsciously knows that if they are pulling on your energy here, if you're kind of bringing to light this connection, or requiring something deeper of this person, I think they're going to be shifty or shady, and potentially this is maybe when they pull away or they detach. But I do feel something here with words, or they might communicate something to kind of throw you off here. But then I also feel like this person might give you false hope. I also feel like this person might, if they feel you're pulled away in some way, they might, yeah, like idolize this connection, or say something here to kind of keep you in their energy here, rather than allow you to move forward or move on. But I feel like this person is pretty stuck. I feel like this person hasn't really chosen, and I feel like they are pretty stuck without having to decide. As long as they are needing to be accountable, then they kind of sit in this energy, and maybe this connection has not moved for quite some time here, or feels like it's really sitting with this person. We have the World here, which talks about a successful conclusion, and I see she's pregnant, which is all about birthing a new cycle. We already saw that your person's quite defensive here with the Seven of Wands. It's all about someone being quite defensive or standing their position here. We saw defense. I feel like this person, if it is a one-on-one, or where again they're needing to be vulnerable or exposed on a one-on-one, or I'm even getting if things need to be more balanced, this person starts getting very defensive, but they're needing to kind of allow themselves to move to this next level in order for them to have a successful connection. So I don't feel like this person's ever passed this point. Yeah, this person's never really passed this point successfully. I feel like this person's been stuck in this type of an energy. They may have had other connections where they got to this point, and then it kind of required them to push themselves out of that, or required some more out of them in order to bring the balance, in order to move things forward. And this person could have just not have done that, and, you know, moved on to maybe another connection, or released it here. But I do feel like it's the same thing here. This person is fighting their position here. They could be quite defensive, and because the question here was, what's the biggest block here in this connection, or with this person in getting to connection, it's definitely this, in order for things to move on, in order for things to change, in order for there to be kind of a birth of something with a potential of a 10 of Cups. Okay, in order for there to be a potential, there has to be an end to this sort of an energy, and they'd have to step forward here, which I don't feel this person has done, because I do feel like they're more of an energy of self satisfaction, but immediate kind of gratification here. And this person can use a lot of sort of distractions in their life, but like yeah, like friendships that are not requiring them to pull more from themselves. Their social engagements here, immediate satisfaction, distraction. It's just kind of more superficial type energies, but I do feel like your person kind of enjoys at least having that around than nothing, because I could feel like this person could get quite lonely here if they didn't have this. So I think there's an over dependency So your person might be more extreme when it comes to how many friends maybe they have, or how they depend on their friends more than maybe, you know, a normal quote-unquote person, right? They could be very dedicated in a way to this type of an energy, or yeah, immediate gratification here, going out or distracting themselves with more superficial or energies that don't really require them to move, or require them to expose or reveal or be vulnerable here. Yeah, so let's pull some advice here. This is more advice in regards to what this person kind of needs to do here than it is for you, because in the extended, we're going to look at you and advice here for you. But right now, we're going to look at, you know, what does this person kind of need to do here in order for things to kind of change or shift, or at least so you know how it maybe there could be support in the right direction towards what this person kind of needs to work towards, so things could get better. And when I say better, I mean, only you really know what better really is, but for the greater good of this connection and moving it maybe forward, or this person maybe releasing this type of a block. What is Spirit kind of suggesting? So, Vulture Spirit, nothing is wasted, 63. So this is really giving me that energy of this person is so afraid or prideful of failing, that it's like if they do anything at all and it doesn't work out like kind of the first time, or if they get rejected feeling like they failed in some way, then it's like it was all for nothing. But Spirit's really saying that there needs to be an energy here of allowing themselves to know that nothing is wasted. Like, the way to succeed is through failure, because then we identify what works for us and what doesn't. And it's not necessarily even failure. It's like an attempt here to find out what works. So yeah, they're seeing it as like a failure, and if they fail or something doesn't work or succeed, then it's like all for nothing. But Spirit is really saying that's the biggest block here, is them allowing themselves to try something and attempt something here is the only way really to find the right answer or what works for them. But yeah, and I'm also getting with the Vulture Spirit, like I feel like this person really feeds off of you know, energies here that well, we were seeing that Vampire card, so it can be quite draining here, because I feel like this person is not knowing how to fill their own cup. Okay, so that's why when it's like energies that aren't as deep, it takes more of it. So maybe they like to indulge in substances or parties, or, you know, like a whole bunch of friends, but no friend is really as deep or meaningful, or the friends might use them in a way, but I mean, they're kind of technically using them too. It's like they're really like indulging and picking in these areas to fill this gap or this void, rather than allow themselves to try something, even if it doesn't work the first time. That's kind of how we identify what works for us. We have Frog Spirit, clear out the clutter, 28. So this is an energy of sometimes we can't see what's in front of us because of the fact that we have so much in front of us. And that's that energy again, like if they have all these friends and all of these, going to say like addictions or like light situations here where they just immediately gratify themselves and fill their life and their agenda. Maybe this person's really, really busy, or they just like to keep busy and, you know, and make a bunch of noise here, because the more they have going on, the more they feel like they're in control of their happiness. But really it's an illusion, that they need to kind of get rid of what's more superficial and not really speaking to that core wound in order for them to really identify here. You know, one or two really good friends might fill the space of, you know, 50 friends that are just not doing it. It's like never enough here. So they're needing to kind of really purge anything in their life that is not aligned to allowing them to speak to that core self, and forgive themselves in a way that if they don't get the result that they're needing immediately, that it is okay, that they don't need to throw it away. It doesn't mean it's not good. Like if for whatever reason something doesn't work out, you know, in their life, like I was feeling that from when we read these cards, like if it doesn't work out, then they kind of just move on to the next, and like, okay, that friendship wasn't supporting that sort of an energy, so it's like there's no use for this person anymore because I failed, or I can't continue in this energy, so they might try to dismiss it, right? But so if they have dismissed you, it might mean that you're maybe getting closer to identifying this person's true self, so they feel more comfortable in just walking away or removing you or being cold, or like I said, that hot and cold energy, because if you get close to this, then they just kind of don't want to clear that clutter, because then they're left with looking at truths here. So we have positive thinking. My life is full of small patches of light. I direct my thoughts to that which brings me well-being. I place what is weighty for me into the hands of the universe. Little by little, the light awakens in my being and I find serenity. So your person is definitely needing this positive thinking, because I feel like your person has like worst case scenario, like, oh, it's all going to fail, you know, like even if I attempt, it doesn't work. And then things are like going to be so like corrupt or just not work. And then they're going to be left with a big kind of failure. Meanwhile, Spirit's saying like bit by bit, this person can peel back like what works for them with positive thinking as well, not expect the worst here, and understand that, you know, all relationships really are a matter of trying to identify like what brings them happiness, what sort of energies do they shine in, because relying on other people here and their energies to kind of be a reflection of them, it kind of takes off that responsibility off of them. And we could continuously be going through people here. So maybe this person's gone through a lot of relationships, or I feel more like friendships or like people in their life here, so that they can have a variety of what brings them happiness through these people, but it never really satiates them. Yeah, and I feel like this person, it could be quite tired, because they're trying to find this, but this is found within themselves. And it starts with the positive thinking that although something may not work out, it doesn't automatically lead to it being a waste. It's actually a success here. The more attempts we have, the closer we are to finding that happiness. So a person's mindset definitely needs to change here. Vitality. I am a being of light. I accept the divine energy in my body, and every one of my cells regenerates. So this is more about the internal self here, accepting themselves rather than, again, like I said, I was feeling living through someone else, like their own energy, their own divine energy here. And if they've experienced failure or situations here in which they didn't succeed and it resulted in a bruised ego, or them feeling like they're not good enough in some way to be themselves, they need to know that they can regenerate here, and through time, little by little, kind of build up their confidence here. Nothing is wasted. So this person might go the opposite way because of their thinking. Like if something doesn't work out, it's like they start thinking the worst rather than, okay, something didn't work out, let me take this as a positive thing, that now I'm only left with less, you know, things that could go wrong here, because I've eliminated something that I've learned from, that I don't have to experience, that I know I don't like, or that I know doesn't work, especially in connection. If they show up in a certain way that doesn't work for them, then they can cross that kind of off their list and like really regenerate themselves into finding who they are. I feel like this person probably does not know who they are, because maybe there's fear in, if they find out who they are and they don't like who they are here, then they have to take accountability and like exercise who that person is and do some shadow work and trying to be someone they like. So I don't think your person likes their own company, who they are here. So they'd rather, yeah, just depend on other people here. order to control the situation. So this is what I see here for pile number 1. The extended here, we will look at your energy where you could be blocking this, potentially something in regards to how you are that might magnify this. Something might be unseen to you. I mean, we all have positive and areas we can improve on, but certainly this person's energy here has absolutely nothing to do with how you are as an individual. We are all responsible and should be accountable for our own actions. Please don't take it as that. It is just more of what Spirit is maybe bringing to your attention, especially if you're wanting to do what's best for the both of you guys in order to be peaceful here. What you might be doing in regards to illuminating this for this person, or enabling, or whatever it is that's going on here in the connection between the two of you guys. All right, so I love you guys very, very much. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous pile number 2. You picked this beautiful stone right here. We are looking at the person you came here about, the person on your mind, and what is the biggest block getting in the way of this connection in regards to this person specifically. So maybe, you know, how they show up in connections in general, maybe just in this connection, but what's the biggest block in regards to this person specifically? If this sounds more like your energy, your person could be elsewhere, so keep that in mind. And please also keep in mind that how someone else shows up or feels for you has absolutely nothing to do with your own self-worth, self-value. All right, use your intuition. This is a general reading. Not everything is going to resonate 100%. Now, I also wanted to mention there is an extended after this. So if you're resonating with this, the extended, we're going to go over how you might be showing up here. That might be not allowing this connection to progress. Maybe you have blocks here in regards to this connection that you're not seeing, or maybe how you are in regards to this connection that may be either enabling or highlighting how this person is. All right, so, and then of course some advice and guidance from Spirit. So pre-shuffle these. Let's take a look at your person and see what Spirit wants to communicate. So we have the elixir of life, and we have rebirth. Wow. Wow, wow. Okay. We have sun splendor, and we have Mercury. Jewelry available on my site, prairievintagejewelry.com, if you're interested in what I'm wearing. All right, we have the elk. Stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with the respect you deserve. We have the gambler. Light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. And we have servant. Light attribute, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Shadow attribute, using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Okay. We have the merchant, self-worth and trade, and we have the waker, awareness and reflection. Wow. Okay. This might be a lot of you viewers' energy here. I'm picking up Panther. The Bardo, number 50. I have the number 3 here. Sorry, I don't know if I was reading the numbers. And then 53. Okay, and then fire energy I'm feeling. And we have fear with 18, number 9 as well. Okay. It's an interesting energy here. Okay, remember, if this sounds more like you, your person could be elsewhere. But what do we see? Wow, well, interesting colors here represented here and in the eyes of the panther. Lots of green. Okay, so I feel like this person is in an energy here that they might be putting this connection kind of on a pedestal, or idolizing this connection. Maybe they idolize you, or this is a big part of allowing them to, like, if they're successful here, then it's like they feel a sense of being successful as a whole. It's like this person feels as though if they could be successful in this connection, then this hinges on who they are as, like, not who, but yeah, like it's their own self-worth, their own sort of value is like really hindered on this connection. And I feel like this person feels as though maybe the more they're trying here, the more they're trying, or the more it's not working, or the more it's showing them that it's not working, the more this person feels the need to make it work. Yeah. I don't know that this energy understands their value here as an individual. So it could be at some point this person put a lot of weight into this connection, and I'm really feeling like this person has learned a lesson through this connection. Or there has been past relationships in which this person's self-worth relied a lot on the connection they were with. Okay, we're kind of now moving the energy towards what is closer to this person. Sorry, sometimes it takes a while. So I don't know necessarily actually that this person is putting a lot of weight in this connection so much as they have in the past. So in the past, they put a lot of weight in this connection or a connection before you. Okay. And what they learned was that their self-worth is not a reflection of how someone else shows up. And I feel like this person's fear is not being good enough. I think this person likes to serve. They like to love others with a free and open heart here. And this makes them feel of value. So I feel like this person might have been drawn to situations in which there was unrequited love, or where they felt rejection in love, subconsciously, in order to reflect some sort of child wound here, or wounding here of sorts, that would make it so that they have self-fulfilling prophecy, like I'm not good enough here or worthy enough here to deserve a type of unconditional love here. So they would be in situations that would reflect this, that made them feel like shit or made them rejected them. But I feel like this connection with you has either highlighted this about themselves, or when they met you, they were learning this lesson here about themselves. And I feel like this person is also learning to trust that if they are being rejected, or if something's not working, it is not a reflection of themselves. And so if this person has been acting in a certain way here, I lost my train of thought. This is interesting. I've never really had such a interesting energy. I'm getting lots of messages here, because I do feel as though there is somebody really trying to change for the better here, especially when it comes to themselves. And if that means being on their own, apart from any connection here that doesn't value them, then that's kind of what they're ready and prepared to do. And I think it's been a tough lesson here for this person, especially if they feel like this connection wasn't one that supported that. They might have put connections or people on pedestals here only to be disappointed and to put their self-worth on that connection, which left them feeling let down. Sorry guys, I'm just picking up the energy here. I feel an energy here of this person that regardless of how other people are showing up, this person's going to follow where their truth is. I feel like this person's really had to sit with themselves, really have to be honest with themselves, and really have to face this sort of an energy of where they might have put their self-worth on how other people would treat them, and they might have been clinging to relationships or clinging to people or codependent in a way in order for them to feel like they were coming with purpose here. But I feel as though this is a lesson that they're either amidst learning or they have learned here. Some of you guys could have been part of this lesson, or some of you guys could have, like I said, come into this person's life where they had to learn this lesson here. I feel like there's something here about you maybe not, and this might come in the extended here, but maybe you not really fully understanding when this person says something here that might have some significance here towards like, I feel like this person might say something here that might sound very just kind of general, or it might sound as though something that you just take as whatever this person's saying in the moment. But I feel like there's a lot of weight here behind what this person is trying to communicate here with you. So they might be too afraid to give details. So they might make a generalized statement here, which doesn't have a lot of weight, but there is a lot of weight behind it that I think this person is learning how to communicate, really, like what their needs are, what they want out of a connection, to allow a connection or someone here to also be of service to them. So this person might block connections in a way here by being of service or risking their own happiness here instead of saying, hey, this is what will make me happy, or here's what I want. And then they become upset here. I feel they could become upset or are disappointed in themselves if this connection doesn't intuitively kind of happen the way that they're expecting it. So it's almost like, you know, somebody who expects their partner here to be like a mind reader of sorts. It's like, oh, this person knows how I feel, or they should know how I feel, or if this person wanted to be with me, they would do this, this, and this. Meanwhile, it's like they've never really communicated this outright. And then I feel like this person does a good job in kind of covering that up. But I do feel like this person does get quite defensive in themselves here when something doesn't work out. So if you do pick up that this person could be really engaged or showing up or giving of themselves, and then all of a sudden this person might be kind of cold or bitchy or something here, that they might just change all of a sudden or do a 180, or just you don't know what's going on with this person, because I don't feel like they're fully communicating what's actually going on here. Yeah, I feel this person is learning how to now communicate something here. So although I feel like this person's lesson is in learning their self-worth here and having this awareness and this really reflecting on situations here that have made them feel less than, and mostly because they might have enabled situations here to continue that weren't balanced, that weren't giving to them what they deserve, the more they would kind of invest and give, and then the more they'd feel like shit here, and then they would expect the person here to show up but be kind of disappointed and be stuck in some sort of unfulfilled thing that's like self-fulfilling prophecy, like I'm not deserving of someone else kind of showing up for me the way I show up for someone else. So there might be this sort of thing, like if they feel you've upset them in some way or let them down in some way, they may not communicate this so much or say something here that is general, but you're not quite sure what they mean by it. But there's like more meaning behind it, but you'll know because maybe their energy changes, or maybe their attitude changes, or just they're not as available as they generally are here. It's like, yeah, it's like this person expects people to kind of be able to read what it is that they need, because I feel like this person's really in tune with other people's energy of what kind of makes them happy or how they can show up to service other people here. So I do feel like this person's going through what that looks like, especially in order for them to bring in their own happiness here and realize that, you know, they're going to have to communicate what it is that they want, and their past relationships aren't a reflection of what they deserve in the future here. Yeah, because I feel like this person's experienced a lot of disappointment. So if they've had a lot of past connections, they kind of maybe experience the same type of energies, people maybe not giving to them, or people taking them for granted or using them. Or it could have been that they were in a connection that repeatedly did this to them. Well, did this to them, I mean, they'd have to do it to themselves here, but where they feel like they might have had to learn this lesson here. And like I said, for some of you guys, if this is this connection, then this person might have experienced here where you might have taken them for granted or felt like you have. And they're learning how to find their own self-respect here and communicate what it is that they're needing here precisely. So this person might be kind of vague, or this person may, yeah, just kind of want you to understand or know what it is that they are needing here. Because I think this person loves in a way that they show love, of how they want to be loved. Yeah, that's interesting. So this is maybe why, you know how there's different love languages and like words of affirmation or like acts of service. I feel like this person's love language is acts of service, or like how they show up for you needs to kind of be reflected here back to them, and then it shows that you love them. So I think this person, like if your words don't line up with your actions so much, this person might doubt how you feel about them. Or if this person is like really invested here in servicing this you and this connection and how they show up, if they feel it's imbalanced here, then they doubt that you feel the same way this person's feeling. And so they may just pull away here. And I also feel like this person might have a, unrealistic expectation here of things being really, really, really good, or like paradise here for themselves, without actually acknowledging that there needs to be communication, in direct communication, in identifying exactly what they need or what's hurt them. Because I don't think this person has been communicating exactly what has hurt them, or if something happens that makes them feel rejected or doubting that you feel for them. Instead of discussing this, they may just get defensive or cold about something else, or you won't know what happened. You won't even know what situation here has happened to put them in this mood. because they don't communicate this. So this person may just really need to learn how to communicate more. And even though this person may like to talk, okay, they might still have a hard time in getting to, again, what the main causes, or how they're truly feeling here. Because I think this person, yeah, it's like they would expect that you would know, or that you should know, or that they're learning how to speak up and ask for what they need. Okay, so that energy is coming through. Let's take a look at the tarot and see what we see with the tarot. All right, pile number 2, we're going to look at this person's blocks here in this connection specifically, or how this person is being blocks connections in general, and see what Spirit wants to communicate. Thank you, Spirit. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, pile number 2, for allowing me to tap into your beautiful energy and the energy around you at this time. So we have 2 of Pentacles. And we have the Chariot in reverse. And we have the Knight of Cups. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Kind of did a little spinorama there. We have the 7 of Cups in reverse. And we have the Hermit. And bottom of the deck, we have the Temperance. Okay, well, Temperance is totally giving me this whole energy is picking up with the with this scale here about the balance and self-worth, awareness and reflection. So yeah, like this person's really, really in the energy here, and this is probably, like, again, the biggest block here in the connection about this person is the fact that what they kind of output in energy doesn't mean that it has to come back to them from another person in order for them to pin their self-worth on that. So in other words, let's say if this person is very open and caring and loving and giving and showing acts of service, and if another energy here is taking them for granted, it doesn't mean that they're not worthy of someone reflecting that back to them. I feel like your person is learnt this, or is learning this for sure. But I also feel like this person is in the energy of wanting to have an energy here that is going to show up for them in the same way. But I think this person is definitely having to communicate what that is out loud, because I feel like this person might feel like if they communicate this out loud, and it doesn't happen here, then they still have to experience some sort of rejection here, or at least have to face the fact that they could not move forward here in this connection, or the connection, because again, this could be just how they are in general. It's almost like, you know, if you hear the truth about something, then you kind of have to accept the truth and move on from the truth. But if you don't ask for the truth, then you can kind of pretend. Okay, you can kind of pretend. Where was that? Sorry guys, I just like showing them. Yeah, this is kind of giving me like idolization, like the full potential here. This, like, you know, them wanting things to be perfect, and like this idolized connection being like a goal of theirs, and them saying, if I work harder, if I contribute more, if I'm more loving and giving and caring here, and despite how other people are treating me here, then eventually things will pan out. and be balanced. But at the same time here, Spirit is like saying, well, if that's not what is being reflected here to them, then they need to not engage. But in order for them to know whether this is something to engage with, they have to put expectations and communications out there that this is what they're needing and this is what's going to help them to move forward and be successful. But that would yeah, make them feel maybe a rejection here that they've might have experienced in the past, because remember, they were going through trying to heal this. So it kind of opens a wound here, I feel. It kind of opens a wound that maybe this person's already experienced rejection, but they're still needing to fully understand that this isn't a reflection. Like, if this doesn't work out, if this doesn't move forward, if you guys aren't a match, or if it doesn't work here, this is nothing to do with this person's self-worth. Yeah, they're really learning how to find themselves and show up for themselves. That is kind of key here. So I feel like this person is still kind of amidst this, because I do feel like this person kind of goes back and forth between doing what they know they most likely should be doing for themselves, and then maybe over sacrificing themselves in a way for this connection. Again, this is like the energy that's coming up. So if, you know, you're not taking your person for granted, or you are showing up for your person, this person might feel as though, I don't know, there's an imbalance of sorts here. So yeah, I feel like this person experiences, like if they experience rejection here, it kind of puts them back. And so this person is kind of being forced with taking a look at their own self-worth and being able to give themselves kind of the love and respect and self-worth that they're seeking from a connection or from another. Like, they're having to find that within themselves. Yeah, they'll have to integrate that sort of side of them, so that if things don't work out, right, then they don't feel rejected and kind of recede or go backwards. Because I feel like this person, if there's anything that happens that kind of makes them feel a little bit of rejection here, or they just feel like they're taken for granted, it kind of brings up past situations here that they've already experienced, and it triggers a sort of a fear here in them, and it triggers a sort of an energy here that's shuts them down, or all of a sudden they might, like I said, do a 180 and not really communicate what's bugging them or whatever. And then there's like, they're having to integrate their shadow self and say, okay, if and when you said this, it made me feel this way, you know. But I mean, they're not needing to feel rejected so much if they learn to rely on themselves more for finding that fulfillment. Then if there is something here that you do, it's not a reflection of them, it's more of a reflection of you. But I feel like this person might be enmeshed in their connection so much that if the other person does something here, they'll automatically take it as a reflection of them maybe not being good enough, or them being the reason why there was a failure or a shutdown in the connection. I think I've read this energy before. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Yeah, it's like this person is really being called to not repeat the same energy that I feel they've had painful lessons in the past, where they just kept giving and giving and giving to situations that weren't giving back or taking them for granted, and it made them feel like that was a reflection of who they were, someone not worthy of receiving back. So now if there's anything that makes them feel like, I don't know, like you're not giving back, or like rejection in any way, it kind of triggers this energy about them. So they're having to be pulled out of not reacting in the same way, and how they can do this is to communicate exactly how they're feeling here. But I feel like this person is still learning to stand kind of on their own. Yeah, keeping them in that sort of a held back energy with the Eight of Swords. You know, like we could be telling ourselves untruths, like if this person only loved me the same way, they would show me the same type of love, which we know is not true, right? Because everyone loves differently, and someone's love language might be different. So if they show it through words, and this person understands it through actions, then there might be a disconnect when you don't show up in the same love language. And so then they have this internal dialogue that might say some untruths here and might trigger them back to old patterns or old ways of being here. But I do feel like, because this Temperance is showing me that, I think this person's integrating this into who they are here. But if there is no progress here, if there is no forward movement, if this person's kind of pulled away here, it's because I feel like this person is not wanting to be so vulnerable or exposed to rejection so much here, that they would rather just feel bad about it inside, like, and say, well, I guess then this connection isn't for me, or I guess this person doesn't love me, or I guess I need to find another connection here that is going to be balanced, or, you know, but then this person's going to keep repeating and not be happy here, because we can't just assume we're going to find like a mind reader type connection that's going to show up in a way that they're going to have to just pick up on their own. Like, there has to be communication. There has to be a need to put ourselves out there when we're in a connection and say, how you treated me made me feel this way or that way, and I deserve this or that, or I have a boundary or an expectation of being treated as such, you know. But I feel like this person feels if they do this, you would be kind of rejecting or leave them because there's now a demand or an expectation, whereas this person feels more comfortable if they're the ones that just withdraw, and then they don't feel a rejection. It's like they chose to pull their energy back. They chose to not engage. They chose to not move forward. They chose this rather than them saying, you know, I want XYZ, and you saying, well, I can't give it or don't want to give it. And then this person will be like, okay, well, you know, thinking that you're going to then say, so I guess we can't make this work then, or I can't give you what you want. And then they'll feel rejected. So it's like, I'll just tell myself that, you know, this person isn't able to give to me what it is that I need or deserve. So I'll just kind of sit here and hope that I get this elsewhere. Again, yeah, it's like this person needs to be very honest here with what it is that they're feeling and how they're feeling when things don't go right, or when they're not getting what their needs met here. And also learn to trust themselves here when it comes to fulfilling themselves, that how someone else shows up has really nothing to do with their own self-worth and who they are as an individual. So that's coming through quite strong. Okay, let's get some advice here for this person. I know they're not watching here, but like, what does this person kind of need to do here in order for things to improve? So maybe you can help kind of support this person, or at least have an understanding of what kind of needs to change here. And then we'll go into the extended, looking at, you know, your own sort of blocks. Maybe how are you in a way enabling or not supporting here this type of a thing? Again, keep in mind that, you know, we can't really change other people. So, you know, you're not really needing to do anything here, but if you are curious as to maybe what's best for this connection or supporting each other, then maybe you're curious in that. So Spirit, advice here in regards to how can this person for pile number 2 make things better here? What's going to kind of help here? All right, so we have Sandpiper Spirits, be playful, number 51. And number 24, Electric Eel Spirit, bring your ideas to life. Yeah. this person, like, I feel like this person is so sensitive in a way that if, let's say, they're expecting, because I do feel like this person has, like, I don't want to say unrealistic expectations, but it kind of is if they're, like, expecting someone to just automatically know what it is that they desire. It's like this person can lose a lot of reassurance in the connection, because it's such a serious type energy here, that it's like if you didn't notice something here that they're needing you to notice, or if you didn't do something here in a way that they were wanting or kind of expecting you to just know, then this person could get into a hissy or some sort of an energy here where they're more down on themselves, I feel, rather than just being playful and allowing them to know that they're going to be them and you're going to be you, and that they shouldn't take every single action or reaction or thing in this connection as a reflection of them failing or them not being good enough. Or yeah, so I feel like this person does kind of need to lighten up in some way here, but bring your ideas to life. This is more about them communicating, you know, like what it is exactly they're needing and wanting. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, you know, if like they say something and you just cannot bring it forward to them, it's like they have to be playful with the fact that you will have your strengths, what you can bring forward, and they have theirs, and to allow you guys to support each other's kind of where you guys shine. But I feel like this person is too fearful to make a demand here of what they expect, in case it is unable to manifest here in this connection. So they'd rather just skip to feeling let down. Yeah, and that's not a good energy. So Spirit's wanting them to not be so hard on the connection. And maybe this person has really high expectations of themselves. Yeah, I feel like this person has very high expectations of themselves. So it would stand to reason that they would want to surround themselves with someone who's also, you know, going to provide for them the same sort of energy that they're wanting for themselves, which is this expectation. But I feel like it's an unrealistic type expectation that kind of dampens the whole energy here of this connection. So this person might be more in upset moods here than they are in good moods here in this connection. So we have inner strength. Nothing moves me from my path to the light because I have complete confidence in myself. I realize my innate qualities and abilities to know that with God I can do anything. All the power I need is within me. This is, again, you know, allowing themselves the confidence to know that if they have confidence in requesting what they want and putting boundaries and just putting it out there, what they're needing and expecting, that they're deserving of it, regardless whether their people around them are able to meet this expectation or not. It has nothing to do with their own self-worth. So I feel like this person is definitely needing to strengthen their self-confidence and their inner strength, their ability to come forward with what they deserve or they feel they deserve or what they want in their own life. So gratitude. I am aware of the light in my life. I direct my thoughts to the beauty in and around me. I give thanks to God for every little thing that brings me joy. Thus, I enlighten my thoughts. Riches surround me, and I appreciate all that life brings me. I do feel like this person is in a mindset here of seeing what's not working and seeing that as a reflection of self, rather than seeing what is working and working with that. So if there's anything that happens here that makes them experience what the rejection they've experienced in the past or reopen some sort of wounding here, then they automatically adapt this sort of a more negative type energy mindset. And at the same time, I don't feel like they're helping the situation by not communicating it. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, I won't communicate here what I need. And then when it doesn't happen here, which it's bound to not happen because I haven't communicated it, then I get into a sort of an energy of me not being deserving or yeah, not allowing myself to enjoy things here and deprive myself of enjoying, being playful, of having, you know, a connection here that brings some sort of value. And the temperance, I mean, these two energies don't have to be the exact same energies. In fact, they could be two different energies. Here we see the sun and we see the moon, divine masculine, divine feminine. They just have to be balanced in a way of what sort of authenticity and what sort of joy and what sort of, I guess, more sort of a contribution forward in this connection, rather than it being the exact same. So I don't know, maybe this person really kind of wants someone in their life that's more like them. For some of you guys, it's like they have an expectation here of something that I don't think is realistic. And when it doesn't happen, I feel this person is shut down in a way. So definitely more growth this person needs, for sure. We're going to get into the extended now in regards to your blocks that you may or may not be seeing, or anything here that might be enabling or shining a light on this person, so that you have some awareness here. So if this is where you leave us, then thank you so much. If you're looking for that extended, it will be in the description box and in the pinned comment below the timestamp. It will take you to the extended, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous pile number 3. You picked this beautiful, I think it's a sandstone, pretty rough. This is pile number 3. So we're taking a look at the person you came here about, the person on your mind, and what is the biggest block when it comes to this person and this connection, or just connections in general. Like, what is blocking them from progressing, moving forward? And we pre-shuffle these oracle cards, which we'll take a look at. We'll also pull some tarot. Now, there will be an extended reading after this, so if you're resonating with this, you can find the extended in the description box and in the pinned comment below the timestamp. It will take you directly to the extended, where we're looking at your blocks, maybe something in regards to how you might be magnifying or enabling something here in the connection that you might not be seeing, might be blocking progress, but only if it resonates, of course. Also keep in mind that this person's blocks or energy has nothing to do with who you are as an individual or your self-worth. So don't feel like you're contributing to this person's blocks in any which way. All right, so how someone feels about you has nothing to do with your own value. And if this sounds like your own energy, this could mean your person is elsewhere. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have castaway negativity. And you see the Sword of Truth here, giving me Ace of Swords with the Serpent, which is all about healing. Okay, castaway negativity. We have Quicksilver, 24, or the number 6. Vinegar, 34. 24, 34, okay. I'm feeling it like this. Okay. Goose, take time to rest and recuperate rather than continuing your striving. Don Juan, light attribute, spotlights your positive seductive qualities. Shadow attribute, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. And Virgin, light attribute, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Shadow attribute, fear of intimate union. And Rebel, light attribute, challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Shadow attribute, rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Only one that got 3 of those. We have the Fox, and this is Earth energy. So we have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. I'm getting fire as well from all the orange here. So we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Could be prominent in your chart, your person's chart. Just as confirmation for those of you guys who are wanting. We have the Pilgrim, opportunities and growth. Giving me Hermit with the lantern here. Opportunities and growth. And the Fate, accepting help and guidance. And we have the Mountain, 33. And we have Freedom with 19 or the number 10. I was going to say 20. All right. Okie dokie. Give me a second here. Okay. I feel like this is a really interesting energy here. I feel like this person is definitely in an energy, maybe trying to get to know themselves maybe a little bit better. I feel like this person could potentially be inexperienced in connections, maybe deep connections even. So I feel like this person is not sure how to be. So maybe this person's been a little unpredictable, or maybe you haven't been able to make so much sense of this person, because maybe their actions are different than their words, or maybe they're kind of showing up in different ways and you're not quite sure who this person really is, because they might be showing up in different ways here. And that would speak to them not really knowing maybe who it is that they are in order to know what it is that they want. So I feel like maybe at times this person is out there maybe and showing potential, and maybe they're kind of in an energy of putting energy towards this connection, and then maybe at other times this person does things to self-sabotage or cause issues here and get in their own way here. I feel like there's something here about this person might have acted in a way that didn't do justice to this connection at some point. This person also might be used to kind of doing things in the best interest of themselves, and that might be what they're used to. So now having to take a look at the connection here and take someone else into accountability would require them to maybe do something that they're not quite sure how to do or how to be. I think they had an idea here of who they were supposed to be based on maybe watching other people's connections, or maybe in their mind about how they're supposed to show up in a connection here. That wasn't really authentic to who they were as a person. I feel like there's a side of this person that is used to being independent here with the Rebel and the Freedom. I feel like this person might not want to lose their independence here, because I feel like they identify with them, their true self, being that single independent energy here, and that the connection self, or when they are in a connection, is not really their true self. Although I feel like this person is needing to understand that their true self could certainly be reflected in a connection here if they really got to know themselves better, because I feel like this person has not got to know themselves in connection. So the only self they know is the self that is independent, is the self that's separate from connection here. So of course, what they believe to be true is through their own experience here. They've sensed freedom, they've sensed independence, they've sensed being able to kind of do their own thing here, which is authentic to themselves, and that's absolutely true. But anyone who's been in a successful connection here understands that being able to be an authentic version of yourself in a connection only enhances and supports you as an individual here. It doesn't take away from you the right connections. So maybe this person's experienced bad connections, or connections where people try to change them, or water down the sides of them that want the independence, that want the freedom, that want to be their authentic self. And they've experienced maybe people trying to tell them who to be, how to be, what to do here. So I feel like this person's learned a way to cope with or show up in a way that kind of maybe is okay for the interim or the beginning of a connection. But then when the connection gets deep, or when this person actually needs to be their authentic self, or when they need to come out of, when you first start courting, you could be of an energy that, the other person quite doesn't know you so much. So it's easier for you to navigate in that type of an energy. But the more you get to know someone, the more of your authentic self kind of comes out. And I feel like this person might not be comfortable with that, specifically because in the past, this has led to things going bad, or the other person in the connection, or other people in their life specifically, could be connection, could be people. I feel like it has to do with maybe their past connection here with relationship, okay? Or it could be just relationships in general. But when this person is themselves, or like acting in line with who they are authentically, they might have got confronted with people who told them to not be like that, or change that about them, or try to snuff out their fire or their authentic being. So they've learned to kind of hide their authentic self, or like manage a way to do this without it being revealed to someone who's just going to shun them or make them feel like they can't be themselves. So the easiest way to do this is to not have to get there in a connection, to not have to get to a point where you are needing to be your authentic self, or where you're kind of your true self, your true desires, and who you are as a person here. Because I do feel like this person was made to feel bad for being themselves, or who they are, or what they want for themselves. So maybe they were told that what they wanted was selfish, or who they are is not contributing to a connection, or that they weren't workable, or that they weren't someone who belonged in a connection, or someone who was kind of self-serving. So therefore they weren't capable of contributing or working with others, and so they just kind of stopped even trying to please others or engage with others if they had to change who they are. And I feel like this person just kind of understands connections as preliminary steps, and like showing interest, or maybe giving attention, or whatever the first stage is here. But if it gets past sort of a certain stage here, then I feel like this person isn't quite sure how to allow their authentic self come out. So they might act in a way that they think you might want to hear, or in a way that they think might support this connection better, all well knowing that it might not be their authentic self. And that makes them feel uncomfortable. I don't think this person likes to do this at all. But I feel like this person also doesn't want to feel as though they've failed this connection so much because of a lack of experience, or because of, I feel like this person has an idea of how they're supposed to be in a connection here, because of how maybe someone's told them. So now they feel bad, or like they're not right or capable of being in connections because they don't have what it takes, or they can't be who their authentic self and still have success in a connection. So they'd have to change their ways, or they'd have to be so adaptable and morphable to almost unrecognizable in order to have success in a connection, which is untrue. It's just they've met someone here who is not compatible. So, and you know, meeting someone who is compatible would require having a lot of like connections with people, because not everyone is compatible. And I don't think this person has had so many different relationships here. So I feel like whatever they've experienced here has been painting the picture for them about what a connection looks like. And I don't think this person likes it because it dampens their style, and it specifically that connection they had. So now any connection is going to remind them of that whole thing. I don't think this person recognizes that they could be their full self, challenges and all. In fact, I feel like you like this person's authentic self because I feel like your intuition sees this person for who they are. So if this person just recognized here that you see beyond maybe their superficialities or who they're only showing up on the surface here because they feel like they have to be in that energy to keep you around or support this connection in some way, that I think you would definitely respect and support this person despite them feeling like they're only showing you certain aspects of themselves here and keeping other aspects to themselves in order for you to stick around here. And the only way for them to really be successful here in this connection is for them to be their authentic self and to still allow themselves to experience this connection without pulling away or having to change themselves. Because I think once they have to change themselves to adapt to this connection that isn't in line with their authentic self, they get uncomfortable. And like, who wouldn't? Because I feel like this person really is the type of energy here who wants to be authentic, who wants to be true to themselves, who doesn't want to have to adapt and change and be different and do all this stuff here that isn't in line with who they are, because it makes them feel very uncomfortable, as it should. So I think what they're learning here is to take who they are authentically, to push through the uncomfortableness here in order to allow things to progress, to get to overcome this, because I do feel as though this person might have not have come to a point in a connection where it got past the preliminary stage, or at least the stage in which, you know, they got to know someone here, and then this person might have made them feel like their authentic self or glimpses of who they are as a person was bad, or that they were incapable of having a successful connection here without having to adapt. But when you got to adapt so much that it changes who you are, like this person has no interest in doing this. So they might be torn here, because I do feel like this person, well, we'll see with the tarot, but I feel as though this person has some feelings for you. I don't see it here, I just more intuitively pick this up. But they feel more strongly of, I don't want to have to change who I am, or I don't want to have to tip the scales so much to support this connection that I lose my identity, because I'm not in an energy here that I need to be in order to be successful in a connection here. Because that's what they believe. So it doesn't allow this connection to progress or to grow, because I think if they're kind of teetering on this sort of an energy, so if it gets too close to them then having to show up as their authentic self, they might pull away so you don't reject them, or so they don't have to yeah, I feel more like this person might not necessarily say what you want to hear, but they'd rather just be distant than be uncomfortably not themselves. But if they have to, if they're put in a position here where they have to be vulnerable or something they feel you need, because that's how they know connection to be, they might say or do it at their own discomfort here, because I feel like this person feels discomfort in doing something here that they don't feel comfortable in. Yeah, it's almost like this person shies away at the first sign here of having to be their full authentic self and it be revealed to you, because they don't want to be in an energy here which they could put this connection maybe even at risk, or you reject them for who they are, or have to change themselves. And I feel like even beyond that, I feel like they're not even wanting to put themselves in a connection here so much, because they don't want to have to change themselves with the assumption that they have to in order for this to be successful. So they don't even attempt it. So maybe at the beginning this person was kind of seemed promising, or seemed a little bit more out there, or seemed more interested in this connection or progressing it. And then I just feel like now this energy is maybe called it quits, or says it's just not going to work out and you're not quite sure why. And it might have left you in confusion. It's like, okay, well, things were okay. Why are we now going backwards? Or why are they now pretending like it wasn't working, or they weren't interested all along? I just feel like there was a turning point here in which this person might have just started acting like they weren't interested, or they weren't who they were. And in reality, they weren't really who they were, because I feel like maybe when they started, they were more of in a comfortable energy of being, you know, they didn't know who you were, you didn't know who they were. And so it was more of this energy of not really being too concerned here. But I feel like maybe as this connection grew, this person's true authentic self was wanting to be accepted and be present here. Yeah, but if they did this and you did not like it, or if they felt like it wasn't supportive of this connection, or they had to be different, then they didn't even want to entertain it. So they just kind of maybe called it quits. So for a lot of you guys, this person might have ghosted or just said, yeah, this isn't working out. And they're denying this connection. And they're needing to really take a look at where this is stemming from, this wound or this experience that they had of someone who might have tried to be controlling or tried to change who they are, because they did not like that experience at all. So now they're just turned off from connection. They're turned off from being anything but their authentic self, which I'm pretty sure you would accept. But if they were told it wasn't good enough, or it was damaging to connection, or that they were selfish, or that they were not supportive of connection, then they might believe it to be true for some reason, or they're not good enough to get into a deep connection, or they have to be something they're not, is kind of what I'm taking. So in their mind, it's like, am I ready to be something I'm not in order to be in a connection? But that's a falsity here, in which they're needing to heal, and they're needing to get truthful and honest here and take a look at this and overcome this, because this is their biggest block. But instead of doing this, they'd rather just cut off this connection, or pretend as though that's the extent of what they have here for you, and not even allow themselves to get into the connection here, and then claim their independence or their freedom apart from this, and tell themselves that it's better that they chose this, because now this is more authentic to who they are. Yeah, it's like choosing self. So of course, you know, if you choose self, and you're going to say, well, this is who I am, and this is what makes me happy and independent. And it's like, yes, but they never really fully got a chance to see who they are in a connection that isn't codependent, that isn't trying to change them, that isn't all the things that they've experienced that I think they did not like. Because a connection here that is compatible is going to highlight who they are as an individual. It's like the cherry on top of who they are here. But I don't think they've allowed it to happen, or at least let themselves get there in connection because of what they've experienced. So interesting energy. I'm also picking up this person's quite social, quite lovable. In fact, I feel like this person might have a lot of friends or a lot of people like being around this type of an energy, because I do feel like this person is quite enjoyable to be around. And it's because they are their authentic self. You know, they're allowed to be their authentic self. So they want to be appreciated for who they are. They just feel like they can't in connection because, well, let's face it, there's a lot of incompatible connections and we don't have to stick around. But maybe this person stuck around an incompatible situation that made them feel like, you know, them in a connection is not worthy or whatever. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have. Two of Cups. We're asking Spirit for more information here regarding pile number 3's person and the blocks in which pile number 3's person has. The biggest block in this connection. What is blocking this person in this connection? Thank you so much, Spirit. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. And thank you so much, pile number 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed. All right. 8 of Swords. Ace of Wands in reverse. 10 of Cups in reverse. 3 of Cups in reverse. 2 of 5. Sorry, I want to see what this is. Okay, so 10 is inwards. This is the 5. 5 of Wands in reverse. Okay. And we have the Empress at the bottom of the deck. Okay, I do feel unconditional love in this connection, okay? With the Empress at the bottom here, unconditional love for sure. Also feel like this person has a healthy love of self when it comes to understanding the authenticity of how they love, or the type of love I think this person recognizes as true love or unconditional love, or yeah. But I feel like the energy here is kind of reflective of what we were seeing, that this person has a mindset here, a mindset that doesn't allow them to experience a connection here to get to its full potential, because they kind of pull out by the time it allows them to be their authentic self. So I feel as though this person would rather just tell themselves here with this Ace of Wands in reverse that they're not interested. So they might, yeah, say again, they're not interested in this connection or to pursue this connection past a certain point. And I think that this person's energy is thinking that they are open to connection. And then they might tell themselves, again, that they're choosing their own authentic self and the way they kind of feel more comfortable here, which is why they are not pursuing or moving forward and allowing a full potential here of a 10 of Cups. Just two people kind of coming together to, you know, build on a connection here past the point of initial stages here. So they might keep it in friend zone, or they might even allow connections that started off maybe as friends, but if it got to the point where it got to the next stage, then they'd almost sabotage the friendship or the connection, because they'd tell themselves something here that would justify their own train of thought, which is, I cannot be myself or have my independence, or I have to be someone I'm not here in order for me to engage in this connection, and I'm not willing to do this. So there must be something wrong with the connection. There must be something wrong with us coming together here. But yeah, because it's easier to say that rather than to look at self and say, you know, that they would be accepted and loved for their authentic self if they're in the right type of connection here. But I think this person doesn't see that. Yeah, they don't see that. I feel like this person, if they do start to feel pulled towards a connection or desire to move forward, I think they talk themselves out of it. I feel this person feels very conflicted here in wanting to progress any connection here. So they could start to then tell themselves untruths or whatever it is that they believe, like, okay, I'll lose my freedom, or I won't be able to do what it is that I do here because I need to change, or I need to support this person, or I need to be who I'm not in order for things to be successful here. So they kind of get into this internal dialogue and challenge themselves in a way that doesn't allow them to move forward here, despite true authentic feelings of love. And maybe this person's lost a lot of friendships here, or maybe, you know, just because this person kind of sees it as one or the other. And if they choose connection, then they're not being authentic or choosing self. But I do feel like it could be quite a lonely place here. So maybe this person partakes in, like, you know, shallow, again with the Don Juan, and not allowing things to get deep, so shallow connections. Or, you know, they might distract themselves, especially when it comes to this connection with this Three of Cups in reverse. This is someone who uses, you know, drinking or substances, or might have addictions, not necessarily like substances, but could be distractions or unhealthy ways of being here, in order to not face something here that I don't know. I just feel like this person feels like they're fighting for what they want, but I don't feel like there's a need to really fight. And in fact, they're getting in the way of their own happiness here. And I feel like every time this person gets into a position of feeling like there could be a potential or a balance give and take, this person gets in their own way with their own thoughts, and then does something here to sabotage. Yeah, pull away or say something or just do something here. If for some of you guys might resonate, maybe this person, I don't know, like starts dating someone else, or just does something here that minimizes how much they're actually feeling in this connection for you, or so that they can convince themselves that it's not them so much, that this is the connection that's not meant for them. Like, they're not meant for being in a connection here. That's just not who they are. So they'll do something here and say, see, this is how I am, or who I am, and kind of, yeah, fulfill that their own self-prophecy, and by saying this is who they are. Meanwhile, it's not really who they are so much as them really being afraid of being authentically themselves in a connection, and someone not accepting them for who they are because they could feel rejection here. So still being authentic to themselves and recognizing that they deserve unconditional love for who they are, and be accepted for who they are, and not picked apart for who they are here. And that's a compatible connection here that's going to allow them to get to a 10 of Cups. But instead of experiencing another loss, or experiencing a situation in which someone isn't going to accept them, they kind of self-sabotage, or they just end it, or they just friend zone, or they just do something here to talk themselves out of this. Ace of Pentacles, Chariot. Yeah, like I feel as though The only thing really holding this person back from allowing themselves to experience this connection is what they're telling themselves, which is untrue, and it's keeping them really held back here. Because I do feel there is a desire to want to move forward. I feel there is a lot of attraction. I feel there's a lot of love here and a lot of potential. And what's coming through actually quite interesting is you've given this person no real reason to think it's not working, because I think in fact you've accepted this person for who they are. So there's nothing for them to be confrontational about. So I think this person is using distractions here because they have no choice but to be honest with themselves, because I don't feel as though you have given them any reason to make them feel like they could not be authentic. So it's like they have to show up here. They can't make up a story and say this is taking away my freedom, because I feel like you've allowed this person to do whatever. I mean, they can be who they are, and I don't feel like you've restricted this in any way. So I think you're not really supporting any of these falsities that they've carried. I think you've given them unconditional love. I think they see the potential and the beauty here in this connection, so it makes them feel more frustrated here. And if they have sabotaged this connection with something that they've done that kind of tainted this now, you know, then they might use that as a reason why they can't proceed, is because of how they showed up. So they're not of an energy here now that can support this in a way, right? But I feel like just their past experiences tainted them to be against connections or relationship that make them feel like they can't be themselves. So if they do something to sabotage or do something that risks this, then it's kind of like, okay, well, now it can't work out for sure because it went sideways or something here, okay? But I do feel like there's more here within this connection that could potentially result, because I mean, an 8 of Swords is really just our own limitations here. There's a lot of love for sure here, okay? So this is what I see here for pile number 3. We will get into the extended, and that will be looking at your own sort of blocks, maybe how you're enabling this person, or maybe what you're not seeing about yourself that might be hindering, or whatever is going on with you in regards to this connection. And if you're dropping off, then I do appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in these readings, and leave a like. That helps support the channel, and I appreciate you very, very much.